And Josh.
Here with Terradrift.
And 3 inflatable sleep pads that are perfect for camping and backpacking.
Why do we have 3 inflatable sleeping bags that are perfect for camping and backpacking?
Because sleep is super important when you're backpacking, and frankly, we found that we sleep better when we have an inflatable pad under our tired bodies.
True story. And when we sleep better, we're less prone to becoming super cranky backpackers.
And nobody likes hanging out with super cranky backpackers.
Not even other backpackers.
No.
But why these 3 specific inflatable sleeping pads?
Honestly, it's partly pads we've used and liked for a while, and partly pads that were just available at the time.
Not sure if you've noticed, but there seems to be some stuff going on in the world that's like disrupting supply chains or something.
I'm not sure what, but it must be big.
Then add to that the sudden influx of people opting outside for like the first time ever and scooping up all the new gear.
And well, it all adds up to supply shortages on a lot of popular camping and backpacking items, including sleeping pads.
But it doesn't matter, because part of our job here at Terradrift is to introduce you to brands and products you may not have been familiar with before.
So you can broaden your horizons, maybe try something new.
So without further ado, let's get into it already.
First up, we have a brand most of you are probably familiar with, Big Agnes.
This is the Big Agnes Air Core Ultra. It's 3¼ inches thick with 3½ inch thick outer chambers that are meant to keep you centered on the pad all night long.
It has high volume valves with micro adjustment functionality, so you can quickly inflate, deflate, and easily customize your ideal firmness.
It comes all packed up in a little stuff sack along with a couple repair patches, which is always a plus, and a replacement valve seal.
Also in the box, a pad inflation sack, which is actually made from upcycled excess pad material, which is super cool.
But there's also an antimicrobial treatment inside the pad to prevent mold and mildew growth if you prefer to inflate it with your mouth instead.
It's made of super durable nylon and has an R value of 1.4, meaning it offers minimal insulation, making it better for warm weather.
Though you could pair it with a closed cell foam pad like the sustainable BioFoam pad we reviewed earlier this year and we'll link to below.
Fun fact, it also comes in 3 sizes. Choose from 72 or 78 inches long and 20 inches or 25 inches wide. They weigh between 18 ounces and 24 ounces.
And as a reminder, if you're combining this pad with a whole Big Agnes sleep system like the Sunbeam or Lost Dog sleeping bags we reviewed earlier this year, also linked below, either width will fit in those pad sleeves.
Though the longer pad may not fit in the women's bag, just FYI.
Moving right along, this guy is the Climate Static V2.
We've been using an older version of this pad for years, but this is a fair upgrade to the original.
It has an easy screw to tighten inflate valve that also makes micro adjustments super easy.
Plus, it's got Climate's body mapping technology, this patterned V-shaped design that's meant to be supportive and comfortable no matter how you sleep, whether it's on your back, your side, or your stomach.
Another cool design feature, these side rails. They're designed to help keep you centered on the pad all night.
One thing you can see right away that makes this pad different is the deep weld patterning. It comes into play in the comfort of the bag, but also in warmth retention.
See, these deep welds create space that allow your sleeping bag to fully loft between you and the pad for improved thermal comfort.
Because when your bag's fill is compressed, like between your body and a sleeping pad, it's not really insulating you that much.
So it's a really cool design feature.
As for more deets, the Static V2 is 72 inches long, 23 inches wide, plus 2½ inches thick.
It weighs a mere 16 ounces, making it the lightest option on this list and has an R value of 1.3.
And yes, it also comes with patches plus a lifetime warranty.
Moving right along, allow us to introduce you to the Decathlon 4Class 700 inflatable hiking mattress.
As you can see, it's got that nice mummy bag shape to it, which reduces excess fabric and therefore weight.
But that's not where the unique features stop. It's also designed with these non-slip silicone patches on the top, which are intended to keep your bag from sliding all over the place in the middle of the night.
It has a super efficient deflation valve and two-way inflation valve that lets you pause mid-inflation so you can rest and carry on a conversation. Plus, it's micro-adjustable.
It comes in large and extra large, plus a short version if you're really trying to cut weight. The large being just under 71 inches long, 20.5 inches wide, and 2.2 inches thick.
It weighs just 18 ounces and packs down to a nice compact size. It's also the warmest of these inflatable pads, though not by much, at an R value of 1.8.
But you want to know what we thought of these, don't ya?
Happy to oblige.
For starters, the Big Agnes AirCore Ultra is definitely the cushiest of all three pads at over 3 inches thick.
So if you want a solid, sturdy sleeping pad that's as comfortable as possible without having to sacrifice serious weight savings, this is your guy.
It was easy to inflate, though it did take the longest of any of these pads just because it's obviously the thickest and the widest.
Yeah, you can use the included inflation sack, but I find those things kinda unwieldy, so I usually just prefer to use my mouth and lungs.
Plus, I'm honestly not likely to carry that much extra weight with me backpacking. The pump sack is actually pretty heavy.
The pad is comfy though, and easy to micro adjust the valve so you can get the firmness just right, which is important because fully inflated this pad is pretty stinking firm.
That may be perfect for you, but we like a little give, so it was nice just to let a little air squeak out so we could customize our comfort.
The side rails did seem to help keep us centered while sleeping, so that's a great design feature.
I do think it's the noisiest of the three pads though. Moving on to the climate, like we said, we've been using an older version of this pad for years with few complaints.
And in that time, we've only had to send one of our pads in for repairs once when it sprung a microscopic leak.
And the repair process was too easy and didn't cost us a thing. We just paid for shipping and Climate patched it up and sent it right back.
It's also a pretty comfy pad, even though it's not the thickest. You might be able to feel the ground a bit under your hips or shoulders if you turn onto your side.
But considering that's how I usually sleep and I'm still using this pad, it must not be that bad.
It's hard to say if those deep welded baffles actually help with heat retention, but they do keep the pad comfortable.
As in, no micro adjustments required. We always just fill it to the max and it's perfect as is.
It doesn't come with a pump sack, but you can get one separately if you really want to. It's actually really easy to inflate.
It's also light, which I'm all about, and small, which I'm also all about because I'm light and small. And so I like to carry as little weight in my pack as possible.
The side rails have also always worked very well at keeping us centered throughout the night.
Listen, I'm a tosser and a mover, and I've never once slid off of this pad, so there you go.
It did take longer to inflate than the Decathlon, by which I mean the same amount of breaths, but the valve is smaller, so it took a little bit longer.
True, but I think it's the most comfortable, at least for back sleeping. All those baffles really feel like they fill in all the empty space, you know, in the lower back and that sort of thing.
Last up, the Decathlon. This thing may have been the easiest to inflate, by which I mean it took the least amount of time or breaths to inflate.
And I totally dig the shape. Because I mean, why do you need a rectangular pad if your sleeping bag isn't rectangular?
Shape aside, it's also comfortable and easy to adjust the firmness to your liking. And you will probably need to adjust the firmness as it's fairly stiff fully inflated.
That said, the inflation and deflation valves are on the bottom of the pad, so if you do need to let a little air out, it's a smidge inconvenient to like fold the top back, find the valve, and deflate a bit while you're on top of it.
The silicone patches are a nice touch though. It does feel like it helps keep your sleeping bag a bit more stationary.
I think it might actually be my second favorite pad on this list.
It might be better than the Climate for side sleeping in my opinion.
Bottom line, I will probably stick with the Climate, but the Decathlon is a close second. My opinion, of course.
I like the Decathlon. It packs down pretty small, but the Big Agnes is probably the most comfortable.
So I guess if you don't mind that it's a bit bulkier and a little noisier, it's totally a winner. Plus the fact that it comes in multiple sizes makes it great for backpackers of, well, multiple sizes.
Well, that about wraps it up for these sleep pads. We'll put a link to them all below so you can take a closer look and pick out your own fave.
But before you go, make sure to hit subscribe and ring the bell, because you really don't want to miss any of our dope gear reviews, do you?
Then check out Terradrift.com for all kinds of written and visual content, including destination guides and gear roundups you won't see here on YouTube, and even interviews with your favorite brands.
Then follow us on Insta, Facebook, and Twitter for all kinds of entertaining content and updates. We are at Terradrift on all the socials.
Now sleep comfortably out there and wander on.
Oh, dude, I like your shirt.
Oh, thank you. I actually really liked your shirt.
Funny thing, I think this one's from the Landmark Project.
Oh, but so was mine.
Oh my gosh! What a coincidence!
Well, I mean,
it's almost like we planned this.
Yeah. I think we should drop links in the description to these shirts in case anyone else wants to check them out.
Maybe
because they're obviously so cool because we're both wearing them.
Yes, and also the fact that part of the proceeds go toward benefiting public lands.
I mean, that's pretty sweet.
I mean, you own one of these shirts, it automatically makes you a cool person.
Yeah, so if you want to be cool, you'll go buy one of these.
Yeah, and also a Terradrift t-shirt. Terradrift.com/shop.
Don't be a square.
Don't be a square. Buy a cool t-shirt. I feel that we've talked enough about sleeping pads today.
I think so.
I think we should be done.
I will leave now.
Also, my mouth is dry and I'd like to yawn. Okay. Good chat.
Good chat.
Here we go.
Goodbye.